What's up, guys? Welcome back to another film session breakdown presented to you by the Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk and Company Burger. Company Burger located at 4600 Ferret Street. The Pelicans are one of the hottest teams in the league, and it's not just one individual carrying this team. They are playing team basketball on both sides of the ball. We're going to break down multiple clips. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by being the hottest team and playing together. It starts off with Brandon Ingram. Over the last month and a half, this guy has been team first. He's doing all the right things. He's playing offense. He's playing defense. He's being a leader. And I'm going to show you here, Trayce Jackson-Davis, if you don't remember, had 7 offensive rebounds in a win here in New Orleans in October. And it was hard to watch, right? And so early here in the first quarter or the first half, Dyson Daniels is going to have Jackson-Davis one-on-one in the post. We do a nice job here. Moody forces up a tough floater. Larry Nance steps up. So Dyson then switches on to Jackson-Davis. That's a tough matchup one-on-one. But what I love here from Brandon is that he starts from the junction and comes in and snatches that rebound away. And you're going to look at it and be like, this isn't that big of a deal. It's not like a highlight. It's not going to jump out at you. But to me, these are winning plays. And these are winning plays from your best player. Brandon Ingram going in, battling. And what I also want to show you is that we get this rebound, we secure it, we get it to Dyson, and now we're leaking out with your two best shooters right here in Jordan Hawkins and Trey Murphy. So then, at one point in the first quarter, as I just showed you, there was a moment where Hawkins and Murphy were on the floor at the same time with Brandon Ingram, and then later on with Zion Williamson and Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance. When you give Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson these type of shooters, that creates so much space for these two guys to operate. But one thing I loved about this sequence, one of my favorite sequences of the night, Jordan Hawkins attacks a long closeout, gets in the paint, and finds Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy misses it. That's okay because you're going to live with this shot from Trey Murphy. This is a practice 3. I will take this shot 10 out of 10 times. It's incredible to see Jordan Hawkins, a 40% three-point shooter, attack the lane and kick it out to another 40% three-point shooter. We miss it. Let's fast forward here for a second because Larry Nance makes a great play here in transition. We steal it. We get it back. We're now playing 2-on-2. We dump it off to Brandon. Brandon dumps it off to Trey. Moody's now in transition. He's out of position. Trey, instead of forcing, attacks the long closeout, and look at Jordan. Already calling for the basketball. And the beauty of this is that you already had Hawkins looking for Trey. So what is Trey going to do? Trey is now going to look for Hawkins. We get in the paint. We got 4 Warriors collapsed, and your best shooter, who's a rookie, wide open, corner 3, bang. That's team basketball. That's trusting each other. It's Hawkins to Trey, and Trey giving it right back to Hawkins. That's trusting each other. It's sharing the basketball, and most importantly, it's winning basketball. So then we'll get fast forward here to the fourth quarter. And I thought Willie Green was really good last night and his whole coaching staff because they ran this set here in the fourth quarter, and Doc Rivers on the broadcast like, man, that was a really good set. And what I love about it's a ghost screen into a flare screen for your best shooter, for Trey Murphy, and it's wide open. But let's break it down a little bit further here. A ghost screen or a rub screen, some people call it, it's a fake screen and pop. Okay, so you see Larry Nance, he's calling for it. He's like, I got you, Trey. You're going to come off me. We're all set. We know what we're doing. We're spaced out. Zion sees it right here, that screen. Perfect by Larry Nance because the Warriors are confused. Moody's going to switch to Zion. Okay, all eyes are on Zion here. What this action does is it forces communication, but you got to be quick with the communication to understand what we're trying to do. The Warriors don't here, so we expose it. Larry Nance then sets a step-up flare screen for Trey Murphy, and Sarge doesn't see it because he's so worried about Zion Williamson that he doesn't even call it out. So as Jackson-Davis turns, he's literally turning into Larry Nance. So now what does that open up? It opens up a wide open 3 for Trey Murphy. And that's tough to guard because now the next possession or 2 possessions later, the Pelicans run the same set. If you expose a weakness, and this is in life, sports, anything, you go after that until they stop it. That's general basic rule 101. If you expose somebody, you go back to the well at all times. The Pelicans do it again. So we're going to flare it. If you remember, just about 30 seconds ago, They had trouble communicating. All eyes again, once on Zion. Wait, but we have Trey Murphy. He's a 40% three-point shooter. We also have to worry about him. And oh shit, Jordan Hawkins is on the right side. We got to worry about him as well. So now you get them in mass confusion. They're not communicating. They got two dudes running with Trey and nobody guarding Zion. So Zion now has a clear path to the lane, and you are not stopping that. And one, and that is the beauty of basketball. Team-oriented basketball, the coaching staff seeing a set, exposing their weakness, and attacking it with your two best players on the court at that point in Trey Murphy and Zion Williamson. So that was awesome to see. Back to Brandon Ingram. Second quarter here, 6.5 left. Pelicans are up 19. It's very easy for Brandon. He could just start dribbling around, taking contested middies, but he doesn't. And this is what I love about Brandon Ingram's game over the last month and a half. So we're going to have a step-up screen. Once again, you've been seeing teams double, blitzing, whatever you want to call it, Brandon Ingram. Brandon doesn't force, so now you got 3 on the weak side. So if we can get it to JV, we're playing 4-on-3. What does Brandon do? Gets it to JV. Now, look at the Warriors. They're in mass confusion. Curry is looking for CJ. He's looking for Hawkins, but they do a good job of exchanging. No one's guarding Herb. So what's going to happen is he has to step up. He has to sink. Why does he sink? Because Herb Jones cuts. So basic rule 101 of basketball, you don't give up layups. You give up open threes. But the problem with the Pelicans is that you got 40-something% here. You got 40-something% here. So it's pick your poison, Steph, because JV doesn't dribble. Looks like he's going to throw it to Herb. So that freezes this defender here. So he has to drop to Herb. Curry's looking in. And then you got number 24 right here, wide open for 3. Once again, team basketball. No dribbles. Turn, face, look, opposite, 3. That is beautiful basketball, and it starts with Brandon Ingram. No dribbles, perfect. All right, let's get back into JV, man. JV was awesome in that third quarter. I thought he sealed the game. Once again, they got into a 2-man game. Brandon Ingram's out with 4 fouls. Zion Williamson's out for his regular sub package. JV and CJ took the game over with this 2-man pick and roll. What I love to hear about CJ is that he probes and holds off Clay. So we come off the 2-man. JV does a great job rolling. We get Thompson on our back. We're freezing Jackson Davis with our dribbling and probing. We go up like we're about to shoot it. Podziemski does not rotate down, so we bounce it strictly right there to JV, and it's a layup. And the last thing I love here about JV is the last clip I'll show. Look at the pace we're playing with, okay? You got Trey Murphy out there. You got CJ out there. You got Hawkins out there with Dyson and JV. Watch JV kill. He fakes the handoff, comes to Dyson. Okay? So you're going to say, well, how is JV so wide open here for a dunk? Like this is basic. Oh man, I fast forward. This is basic, rotation. Like JV shouldn't be getting this easy of a look. And I'm going to explain why. Jordan Hawkins at this point is 4-for-4 from deep. So Podziemski, he ain't going to help off of him. Trey Murphy has got it going. CJ McCollum's shooting 45% of career high. They ain't going to let him go. So what do? We're going to fake it here. JV sprinting to screen. Podziemski's late on the rotation because you can't get off Hawkins too far. And Dyson with a beautiful wraparound pass to JV dunk. They're playing team basketball. They're blowing out the Warriors. They're blowing out the Kings because they're playing team basketball. This is some of the best basketball I've seen them play under Willie Green. Like, comment, subscribe. Love to hear y'all's thoughts.